Alrighty, so tonight what I'm going to do is cover a few DMOs that they're really simple training. So I'm compiling a few different methods so that you understand about different methods, how they work, because we've pretty much gone through the whole list of the buffet, if you like, of the Herbalife daily methods of operation. So I will touch on a few methods that won't take much time to talk about and just compile it all into this one training. So let me just grab my sheet here. Okay, just bear with me. All right. So the first method I want to talk about is flyers. Okay. Now, flyers is really simple to do, but it's about the attitude behind doing the flyers that makes the difference to how quickly you build your business. You know, when you go out there doing flyers in letterboxes or hand them out at train stations or busy areas, sometimes we have this feeling that we're worth more than handing out flyers in letterboxes or what have you. You feel like you're degrading yourself or what you're worth to do this simple method of putting flyers in people's letterboxes. I don't know if you guys have ever felt like that or if you've done flyers, but I know when I first started, there was a bit of a mindset problem with me to go out there and put flyers in letterboxes and hand them out, because I felt I was really lowering my value, if you like. Okay, and if you've got some kind of experience or background, like I know Adrian, you're in construction and stuff, it might feel like, oh, I'm going from building and stuff to putting flyers in letterboxes or handing them out to people. And really what's important to understand, it's a mind game you're playing with yourself. It's not really anyone else thinking less of you for doing that. And it's actually funny because I was talking to someone tonight, also a distributor, and they were talking about how they used to do flyers for their previous business, okay, to promote their previous business. So they used to go out there and do flyers to promote their business, which was a totally different industry, okay? And that's where they picked up a lot of their business from. So at the end of the day, guys, the attitude behind doing flyers is really important. And there's a couple of views on this. Number one, when you're doing them in letterboxes, you've got to have an attitude like you're putting the flyer in your next president's team member's letterbox. So you have the attitude of saying, this is my next president's team member, this is my next president's team member, this is my next president's team member. And if you've got that attitude while you're doing the flyers, you'll actually attract good people to your business, okay? I've got people who became long-term customers from flyers. I've got people who became supervisor, world team, get team even, with flyers. Okay, so it is all a mindset. It's how we think about that method. When you're doing flyers in busy areas face to face, the main thing is the eye communication and a smile. Okay, and I notice a lot of people, especially when they're new and they're doing flyers in public areas, they sort of have their face down and just handing out the flyers. Okay, they don't look at the people. And it's really the eye contact and the smile that will encourage a person to take the flyer off you. Okay, so there is a bit of an attitude game behind it. One of the best ways to do it when you're doing letterbox drops is to have some audio playing in your ear, so have some headphones and listen to some personal development as you're doing your flyers. So I remember when Ali and I first started, all we ever did, we were getting a good 4 to 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours a day of personal development while we're doing the flyers in letterboxes. Okay, so we're not taking up any extra time to do personal development. It was actually embedded in the time that we're doing our activity anyway. So we were actually doing three things at once. We were exercising because we were doing flyers and walking. Okay. Number two, we're doing personal development at the same time. And number three, we're doing the flyers to create new business. So we're actually doing three activities in the one activity. Okay. So we're being really productive by doing that one method. Okay. And we kept working harder on ourselves every day by listening to this personal development, that it helped us advance our business at the same time. Okay. So attitude is really, really important when doing flyers. Now, the next method I want to talk about is how to get good at referrals. Okay. And referrals in our business is a multi-million-dollar business. Really it is, because, you know, referrals will lead to referrals. You're already starting to see this with the online fit challenge that we're already starting to promote. Adrian, I know you've just mentioned today that you've got some customers already, and already one of them's got another 3 or 4 referrals for you. And if you get good at referrals, you can make an absolute fortune. Okay. So Jim Rohn always says there's pennies in the sale, there's a fortune in the follow-up. Okay. And if you're following up your customers, making sure they're getting great results, they will refer other people to you. There's no question about it. Okay. But the key is you have to ask the question, who else do you know would be interested in getting results like you? Who has noticed your results? These are questions to ask your clients, because then you can open up the conversation and say, hey, do you mind referring these people to me? Or are these people interested in getting a result like you? Can I talk to them? Okay. So referrals is really, really key if you get good at asking the question for the referrals. Make sense? So this is really basic stuff what I'm teaching, but it's things that are overlooked by most distributors. The next DMO I want to talk about is sampling. Now, sampling can happen anywhere, anytime, guys. And, you know, really you should have certain things with you all the time, whether it's in your car, in your Herbalife bag, you know, in whatever you're carrying around, in your, whatever you can give, like the sachets of Lift Off, for example, Hydrate, protein bars is a great one. You know, Face Quencher, the vitamin C face quencher from Herbalife, especially now we're going into summer. You know, sometimes when it's hot, I just pull it out and spray, and people say, oh, that smells nice. What is it? And I say, it's my mobile air conditioner. Okay, because it gives me a boost of energy, freshness, even though it's hot. Okay, and then say, hey, you try some and spray it on them. Or, you know, if someone says they're tired, hey, give them a Lift Off or whatever. I had this conversation with Conan and Salia last week, and they were saying that they were at a seminar, and this guy that was sitting next to him kept dozing off in the seminar. Okay, and so they nudged him and they said, hey, why don't you take one of these? They gave him a Lift Off. Okay, and the guy was awake for the rest of the seminar, and at the end of the seminar, the guy apparently came up to him and said, hey, can you get me some more of that stuff, because I got to drive back to Sydney tomorrow. So can you bring me some tomorrow, and I'm happy to pay you for it, because I need it for my drive home back to Sydney. Okay. So, and it's a simple method of just sharing with someone a sample. It's a freebie. Okay. And people will always try something for free. Okay. So, you know, the protein bars is an easy sell. Hey, you like chocolate? Yeah. You're going to try this bar. It's unbelievable. Okay, so don't undervalue sampling products with prospects. Okay, Now, the next one I want to talk about is, let's see, SMSs. Okay. Now, I mean, SMSs is obviously another great method. You know, I'm sure all of you haven't contacted everybody you have on your phone yet. Okay. We've probably got what we call a chicken list, people that we're scared to contact because we don't want them to think any less of us. And hey, we all have that chicken list and still working on that chicken list. Whether you're 1 year, 3 years, 15 years, 20 years in the company, someone's always got a chicken list. And, you know, at the end of the day, we've got to think about it like this. What are we chicken about? We're spreading the word of good nutrition, helping people with their health and wealth. Really, we're not doing anything wrong. So why are we chicken? And it comes back to what we spoke about, I think, last week about rejection. Okay. And, you know, we've just got to overcome that rejection and move forward and become better people at everything we do. So SMSs is a great method. It could be something as simple as this online fit challenge message that we sent out today on Facebook. It could be just the text with a photo. So it could be the same thing in an SMS. Okay. So really think about this online fit challenge. You're already starting to see results with it. Why not promote that through other methods other than just Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and, you know, whatever else there is out there. Think about how else can you promote this. You know, I went up and even put an ad on Gumtree of the same thing today. Okay, it cost me nothing. So think outside the box. Just because everybody's doing it with one way doesn't mean there aren't other ways you can include as well as that other way that you've been taught. Okay, so you might have, you know, some kind of free websites that you can advertise on or what have you. How can you get the message out? Because I've said this before in many of our trainings, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. So the question is, how can you bring more value to the marketplace? Is there free websites I can advertise on? You know, there's heaps of online free advertising websites that you can promote your products or services, okay? Including fit camps, by the way, okay? So think about that and what else you can do for that method. Okay. Ads in newspaper. Okay, we've spoken on that topic briefly in the past. You know, running ads in papers, and you know, obviously this is a method that costs money. So obviously, if you can do things that are free and getting good business, great. But if it's not generating business for you or enough business for you, why not spend a little bit of money doing newspaper ads? Okay. And I'm telling you, when we started, that's what we mainly did. When we started, run small line ads. It doesn't have to be a big fancy ad. It could be a small line ad in the newspaper that says, you know, work from home, for more information, contact this person or visit this website. Okay. So these are all different methods that you can use in your business. So emailing is another one. All right. So you can actually send emails to family and friends. And again, you know, we were talking about the online challenge. And again, that could be a method to get the word out there to people you don't have in your phone or Facebook account or what have you. You might have their email address and say, hey, why not join our online challenge? Okay. So again, emails is another great way. I've got a database. I think I've told you guys this before. Over the 14 years, I've collected a database of around 25,000 names, numbers, and emails. Okay. So you can imagine what I'm going to be busy with to promote the online fit challenge, trying to get the word out there as quickly as possible to all these emails and stuff as well. All right. So again, you will collect these emails over the time. So make sure you're getting names, numbers, and email addresses, and put the people in some kind of database where you can blast out an email to them. Okay, a great free service, a great website if you want to write it down, is called sendfree.com. Okay, and all you do is basically put people's names, numbers, email addresses in this account. You create a database list. That could be people for products in one list, and it could be for business in another list. So that when you're promoting whatever service, you're promoting for the right list. Okay, so sendfree.com is a great service that you can use for free. Okay, Nutrition Club, I'll probably do a training on Nutrition Club, although I'm not a master on it personally, because I've never really run one. It's one of the methods I haven't run, but I know there is a lot of trainings on myherbalife.com about how to run a successful nutrition club, with a lot of questions and answers as well. Okay. Weight loss challenge we've covered. Door knocking. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about door knocking. Okay, door knocking is a great way for people to build confidence of talking to people. Okay, why? Because in my view, door knocking is probably one of the hardest methods to do. And the reason being is that because it takes a bit of guts to start talking to people in front of their door. Okay. And so what I've done in the past, I've suggested to other Herbalife distributors in the past, is probably a good way to do door knocking is get a trolley, a small trolley of some kind, like a carry bag trolley, okay, or a little suitcase on wheels. Put some Herbalife products in there. Have some before and after testimonies in a pitch book in there. Have a scale, a Tanita scale in there, and have a survey and wellness pass as well, okay? And you can literally go up to people's door, knock on the door and say, hi, we represent Herbalife International. I'm an independent distributor. We're just in the area today promoting good health to people, how to live a healthier lifestyle, and basically offering a free wellness evaluation for people to know what's actually happening with their health. This wellness evaluation is worth $100 if you did it in a clinic. We're doing it for free to let people know what's going on with their body. Okay? And so the same way that I did a training about road shows, it's pretty much doing the same training or same method with prospects at their door. Okay? So once someone answers the door, say what I just said, get them to fill in the survey, offer them a free wellness evaluation. The wellness evaluation can even be done outside the front of their house. Doesn't have to be inside their house, because some people might not be comfortable with letting you in. So you can say, we can actually do this outside. I don't have to come inside your house if you're not comfortable with that. Okay? So make people feel comfortable about offering them a free wellness evaluation outside the comfort of their own home, okay, or inside if they're comfortable, okay? And then pretty much just like the road show, show some before and after testimonies, write up their results, you know, exactly the same routine. Have you heard of Herbalife International before? And then start talking about the products. Really, really simple, guys, okay? The next method I want to talk about is, you already know Fit Clubs, but one thing that we really did well a few years ago And I think Patrick did initiate it, and I'm not sure, Marco, if you were around in the business at that time or not. It was called Dance Fit Club, okay? And it's basically a fit club, but dancing, okay? So instead of doing boxing like what we're doing and that, it was a dancing session, okay? And it was about moving your body, getting healthy that way, promoting the products at the end, the same way we do at the fit camps, okay? And really, you can be creative with this. You can do Zumba fit clubs. You can do, it could be a golf fit club, okay? Everybody goes to the golf driving range, hits a few balls, and at the end have a shake. It could be a chess fit club. Okay, so it doesn't have to be something that's actively. Here's what it's all about, guys. Get this very clear in your head. It's about creating a community of some kind. Okay, it could be a book reading club. I don't care what kind of club it is. It's about getting people together and at the back end promoting Herbalife. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, these are all methods. And again, I always ask distributors, don't only use what's working, try something new as well. Understand that the Fit Club concept did not happen till a couple of years, about 3-4 years ago, it was introduced to Herbalife, okay? And how did it get introduced? Is a whole bunch of distributors got together in America who were struggling with their Herbalife business and said, well, what can we do? And they said, well, I don't know, why don't we just go mountain climbing one day and we'll talk about it while we're mountain climbing, okay? So they went on this mountain climb, and this is how Fit Clubs, by the way, started, okay? And some of the distributors said, hey, some of my friends want to come along. Can I bring them along? And they said, yeah, bring them along. The more, the merrier. And they started doing this mountain hike, okay? And they started climbing this mountain. It was a hike, not a mountain climb, rather. They got up to the top of the mountain, and then all the Herbalife distributors said, you know what? I need to recover from that walk or whatever. Started pulling out their shakes and hydrate and all these drinks, and some of the friends were going, hey, what's that? And I said, oh, this is my recovery shake and blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, how do I get some of that stuff? And all of a sudden, it became a trigger point that, wow, this is a great idea. Okay, it was by accident that the Fit Clubs actually started, okay, which today, Garen Jones is all Fit Clubs, Style Bell, all Fit Clubs. All these guys, President's Team and 15 and 20 and 30K President's Team, by an accidental idea of running a Fit Club. Okay? So here's what I'm saying. If there's something in your mind saying, hey, well, why don't we try this? Never disencourage anyone from trying something new, but always encourage them to do that method on top of what's proven. Okay? Because if that method doesn't work, at least they got something that's proven that's actually working. Make sense? So if you come up with an idea, try it, but try it above the other methods that you're doing. Don't let it interfere with the other methods you're doing. Okay? So any kind of Fit Clubs or clubs at all is the way to go. Okay? And then, the last one on the menu that we haven't really gone into detail about is the button and being branded. Okay? And, being branded is really, really key in our business. Okay? I've got distributors who aren't very active anymore, yet they're still wearing the Herbalife brand in their posts on Facebook. Okay? And I see that and I think, well, you know what? Even if these guys aren't really active, if they're still wearing the brand, okay, they're probably still using the products, by the way, but what they're actually doing is promoting the business for us. because they're on our Facebook pages, they're wearing our brand, and they're actually promoting it for the people who are more active in the business. So their friends and family are always seeing this Herbalife 24, and they might contact that person, and that person might say, I'm not really active in Herbalife anymore. Okay. And they say, oh, was it good? And yeah, the products were great, because everybody's got great product result. They can't say anything bad about it. And then I'll say, okay, no worries. I'll just contact one of these other coaches that I see you're friends with then. You got me? So at the end of the day, people are promoting your business if they're wearing the brand, if they're not doing Herbalife properly. Okay. But what's important for us as coaches is to always wear something or hold something that's Herbalife branded. Okay. You know, you come to the fit camps, you either got a bottle on, you're wearing a t-shirt, wearing a button, whatever the case might be. Okay. And you really need to develop the skills of wearing a button of some kind. Okay. So wearing the brand is great, but sometimes people will not ask you a question of what's that you're wearing. Okay. You know, a cap is a cap, for example, and if it says Herbalife 24, they might just think you're, you know, using the product or wearing a cap to protect your head from the sun. Okay. But the button is more noticeable. Okay. And the button is always, I know for me, it was a big challenge. Again, it was a bit of that degrading thing in the beginning. It was like, I don't want to wear that, you know, stupid button, and I feel like an idiot, and, you know, you play all these mind games. And I thought, well, how do I overcome this challenge I have of wearing the button? And so I taught myself a concept. And I thought to myself, what's the button look like? I said, it looks like a satellite dish. Okay, it feels so big. It feels so heavy. It feels like everybody looks at it. Okay, and I thought, well, how do I overcome this mentally to become a better person in Herbalife to wear that button confidently? And here's how I overcame it. I thought, hang on, it looks like a satellite dish. Well, what is the purpose of a satellite dish? And then it hit me. I thought, hang on, a satellite dish has the purpose of receiving signal so you can get a good transmission for your TV or cable. Yeah? And then I thought, well, hang on, it's the same thing with this button. It's a good transmission for me to get business, to get customers. And that's how I overcame that challenge of wearing the satellite dish. And then the next thing with the button is knowing how to respond to the button. And I think I've touched on this on one of the trainings I've done in the past. Okay. The first question when someone says how to your button, so you might have lose weight now, ask me how, or work from home, ask me how. Okay. When someone says how, the first question you need to ask someone is, are you serious or are you curious? And if they say they're serious, then you'll go further with them in a discussion. If they say they're curious, say no problem. Here's my business card or here's my flyer. When you become serious, give me a call. End of discussion. Because you don't want to waste your time with people who are curious. You want people who are serious. Yes? And if they say, yes, I'm serious, say great. So if it's a lose weight now, ask me how button, for example. The next question is, well, how much weight are you interested in losing? And they'll say, how much weight? And you say, okay, what have you tried before? What have you tried before to lose weight? And they'll say, oh, Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or whatever the case might be. Say, great. And here's a great line to really close the deal, okay? Because you want to find out their reasons why they want to lose weight now. So why do you want to lose weight now? Key question, because they're going to give you some trigger points in this question. Oh, I'm getting married in a few months, or my blood pressure's gone up, or whatever the case might be. And then the next question you say is, if I could show you a way to lose the 5 kilos that you want to lose so that you can look good for the purpose, which is your wedding or high blood pressure or cholesterol. If I could show you a way to lose 5 kilos, get your blood pressure under control, look good for your wedding, you know, and the products work out cheaper than food, would you be interested? That's the question. And if they say yes, say great. Here's my before photo. This is what happened to me. I lost 12 kilos in 10 weeks, 18 centimeters body fat, kept it off for over 12 years. Recently wanted to shape up a bit more, lost another 6 kilos in a few weeks, kept it off now for 14 years. And if you use the products that I'm using, these are the kind of results you're going to get. Okay. Product comes in chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, berry, choc mint. Which flavor would you like? That's it. Easy sale. Okay. So that's it for the products. For the business, it's not much different. You say, you know, what do you do for work? Why are you looking for a change? Okay, so it's similar questions. You're trying to find the reasons why. Okay, if I could show you a way to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, very part-time, without affecting what you're currently doing, would you be interested? And when they say yes, say, great, here's what I want you to do. On this coming Saturday, we have an information session happening at Derrimut Diamond Centre. Can you come and meet up with me and some of my colleagues? Okay? What's your name and number? And I'll message you the details. Simple. Okay? We have the online presentation that we've got of all the team talking. You can use that as well. Okay? You can say, if I send you a link, have a look at it. Can you look at it tonight? And I'll give you a call back. What time can you look at it? And I'll give you a call back. Okay. So as you can see, everything is key that it's coming back to follow up. When you give prospect details, you want to follow up. Don't give up on the follow up. Okay. I have a 3 strikes, you're out policy. That's me personally. Okay. 3 strikes, you're out. If I invite you to 3 presentations and you don't show up for any of them, then you're not serious. I'm not interested in working with you. Okay? Same thing with the products. Okay? Hey, you said you want to get started. Give me till Monday. Ring them back on Monday. Hey, you ready to get started? I'm still sorting out my finances. Give me till Thursday. No problem. Thursday, I ring them. 3 times, you're out. I'm not interested in wasting my time. My time is valuable, okay? My time is worth money. And if you're going to waste my time, I don't want to waste my time because I want to find people who are serious, not curious. So I'm looking for the people who are serious, okay? And until today, I've never seen anyone really successful in this like my Upline Chairman's Club member, Rodney Drury, okay? Because his attitude was, are you a now person or a later person? And he really didn't give that 3 strikes, you're out policy either. It was one. It was 1 strike. Okay? Are you in or are you out? That's simple. That was his pitch. Okay? And that's why he has, till today, one of the most productive Herbalife businesses in the world. Okay? because he would walk up to someone and say, "Hey, Adrian, I'm looking for a real business partner, someone who wants to become successful, rich with me. Are you in?" And if Adrian says no, he says, "No problem. You just want to sign up, use the products? Sign up, use the products. I'll catch you later." "Marco, are you in?" And Marco says, "Oh, I'm not sure." "Okay, no worries. Sign up, use the products. I'll talk to you later." "Conan, Salia, are you in?" "Yep." "Okay, great. We're in." "Oh, okay, I'm working with you guys. Next." And that's what he was doing so quickly that he developed a quick developing business. That's why he was able to produce 40,000 personal volume in his first month of Herbalife. Okay? He had a do or die attitude. You're going to do this or you're not. Okay? And that was his attitude from day one. And that's why he built an amazing business. Okay? So guys, that pretty much covers all the methods that we've spoken about that are available to you on a buffet, if you like. We have spoken about all the other methods in lengthy details, but these ones I wanted to cover in a short training because there's not too much detail you can go into about how to do flights, okay, or how to do, door knocking or whatever I shared with you tonight. So really the only one I haven't covered yet is how to run a nutrition club. I will do that next week in next week's training. Like I said, I'm not a master in it, but I will cover it anyway, okay, and refer you to some links and stuff on myherbalife.com so you can learn a bit more about it if you're interested in doing it as a method, or at least you've learned about all these methods so that when you bring people in the business, they understand how to do these different methods, okay? So even if you haven't done it yourself, which I always recommend doing these methods so you can teach it, okay? But even if you haven't done it yourself, you can say, "Hey, look, we got trained about that. There's a link on the team page about it. Why don't you go to this link, have a listen, learn about it, and then we can talk about it." Okay? So I'll open it up for any questions before we wrap it up for tonight's call. Has anyone got any questions?
Roger?
Yeah.
I know you might cover it next week then. It's about the nutrition club. Do you need any special permissions, like from head office to open one?
You don't need special permission to open one, but there are rules and guidelines on how to run one. Okay, that you have to stick within, and I will go into detail about it next week because Nutrition Club to me is probably one of the strictest methods on promoting your business. And also, the reason I personally haven't run a nutrition club, and this is me personally, the reason I never ran one is because you have to set up an office for it. And I never wanted to get back into a lease situation of a property and office that I have to commit certain hours of trading and what have you, which is what you have to do with the nutrition club. Okay. So to me, in my mind, it became a bit more like a job that I have to be there between certain times and trade time for money. Okay. But having said that, a lot of people have become very successful in nutrition clubs. The number 2 distributor in the world, Raquel Cortez from Mexico, built her business through nutrition clubs. Okay. Today, she is, I believe, a 50 or a 60K President's Team member, okay, which is more than double Garen Jones' business, okay. That means her business, a 60K President's Team member, so you understand it, a 60K President's Team member means her business is doing 1.2 million US dollars worth of business per month in her first 3 levels. not including the rest of her business. Just in the first 3 levels of supervisors, there's $1.2 million worth of turnover. Okay. I'm telling you, that's a hell of a lot of products. Okay. And she built it through nutrition clubs. Our guest speaker at this weekend's STS on Sunday, Damien Powley, built his business through a nutrition club. Okay. So guaranteed to work for those who work it, but it takes strong commitment and devotion to make it successful. Okay. So I will touch on that next week, Marco. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I've just got a quick one, just more of your opinion, if anything. Doing flyers, I was going to staple my business cards to them. Do you think that's a good idea? Or?
I wouldn't. Reason being, it's an extra expense you don't really need to run up. Your details are on the flyer anyway, so why hand a business card with it? Yeah.
Yep. I was only thinking that because on the flyers, it's more for coaches wanted and the business card's more for weight loss.
Okay. So again, try not to mix the two together. And this is a common mistake. And thank you for mentioning that, Adrian, because it's sort of touching on the flyer topic. You need flyers for retail and you need flyers for recruiting. Don't go putting the two on one, okay, or back on front. Or even, I've seen this mistake happen for new distributors especially, if your name and number is the same on both flyers and you're putting both flyers in the same letterbox to try and save time, you're already telling people what the business opportunity is, even though they don't know from the details of that flyer, but they know from the other flyer because it's a name and number the same. And I know a lot of distributors in the beginning who started with us made that common mistake of putting both flyers in the same letterbox, and it wasn't very productive.
Okay.
Cool. So here's what I always teach with flyers, especially, maybe do a certain area for retail, another area for recruiting, and then rotate it after a week or two, or maybe, the key is after 6 weeks to go back to the same areas, do the same letterboxes. Okay. Yep. It's the repetition of people seeing your flyer over and over again that gets them asking.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I'll give you an example. I remember when we first started, we were massive on flyers. I mean, that's all we could afford to do. And we were doing 1,000 flyers a day of retail, 1,000 flyers a day of recruiting. So it was 4 hours a day of flyers between Ali and myself. Okay. Because it takes 2 hours to do about 1,000. So I remember doing flyers in these areas, and then I got this call and this guy says, "Hey, I just got your flyer in my letterbox. I'm interested in using the products." And I said, "Okay, no worries." And I said, "Which area are you from?" And he said, "I'm from Thomastown." And I'm thinking, geez, I haven't done Thomastown for like 6 months. Okay. Because I went to other areas and kept moving on, and I haven't come back to it yet. Okay. And I thought, gee, I haven't done that area for about 6 months. And I said, "Did you say you received it the other day?" He said, "Oh, no, actually, it's been sitting on my fridge for a few months." Like that. And I thought, wow, doesn't that go to show you that if the flyer has value for someone, they'll hold on to it. And you don't know how long they're going to hold on to it for. Okay. In this case, it was 6 months. Long story short, this guy started losing weight so quickly that he started getting some of his friends on it. And I started talking to him about, hey, you're referring your friends, why don't you make some money out of this? And he goes, yeah, why not? And all that kind of stuff. And he ended up becoming a supervisor with us. Okay. All from a flyer. Okay. And like I said, I've got World Team and Get Team members from flyers. Okay. Actually, I had I had one guy's business, he nearly went millionaire team member, and it was through someone who I got on a flyer through products, who then referred other friend, who referred their son, who referred this other friend, who almost became a millionaire team member in my business. Okay? So you just never know what kind of people you're going to attract with flyers. Okay? Any other questions, guys? No, we're all good. Awesome. All right, excellent. So that's it for tonight's call. Next week, we're going to do Nutrition Club training, which will be the last DMO training. And then what we will do is we will have a discussion to see whether we do maybe something like a focus group or use these Wednesday nights where we can all report back to each other what's happening in our businesses, how many people we're speaking to on a daily basis, what kind of response we're getting, what kind of challenges we're facing. It'll become more business talk-wise to help you guys advance your business. Because, you know, right now what I'm seeing is it's pretty much the same people coming on this Wednesday night call. I'm not really worried about anyone else who's not committing to it because I know exactly what's happening in their business as a result of not committing to these calls, okay? And as you can see, it's all about the attitude and energy from each other that we're going to lift each other up and build our businesses. So really proud of you guys. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. I'm following all of you on Facebook. Adrian, keep up those live videos. I'm loving them. You're getting more and more people at fit camps and a lot more participants. Marco, well done. You're getting more challengers on board. Salia, what can I say about you? I take my hat off to you. A true leader, no excuse attitude, pregnant, not pregnant, whether, whatever the case might be, you're there. You're going to take it all the way to the top. All three of you, no question about it. So guys, that's it from me. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow evening at the Fit Camp. Good night, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, mate. Bye.